What's up, Browns fans? Welcome to the Dawgs podcast. Let's kick this thing off.
Welcome to the Dawgs podcast with your hosts Blake Reneker, Zach Kopp, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of the Dawgs. We're bringing you an over 500 edition of the show for the first time in 84 games, which is insane. If you're watching, remember to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please subscribe on YouTube. We got a lot of stuff to get into today, so we're just going to jump into it. Browns are 2-1 over 500 for the first time in, a long time. It feels pretty good.
It does feel good. And before we dive into any of that, I just want to say thank you for waking up for the podcast tonight. Yes. I mean, we really appreciate it.
Yeah. It feels good to be here. I was watching that recap you guys did, and I teared up a little bit.
I love when Blake says, he sends out the group text to everybody, hey, let's do a post-game recap Facebook Live.
Yes.
And then doesn't show up.
Yeah, I want you to ignore your children for a second. I got this we got to do this recap. Absolutely. Yep. It was good to be there with you guys.
Right,
absolutely. Hey, thanks for showing up.
I showed these guys too when I was watching that Browns game. I was taking notes on my phone so I could give a good recap. I got a good page and a half of notes, and then the game was about a minute to go, and I started to drift to sleep, and then the final whistle blew, and I just passed out. There's no saving me.
I think we handled it pretty well without him.
I think so.
Yeah. Now we know we can do it without him.
All right, well, let's get off that topic. Let's touch on some of these injuries real quick before we get into the game. Browns did lose JoJo Natson for the season to torn ACL. It's not a huge loss, but every time he touched the ball, that guy is crazy fast.
I couldn't believe how fast he was.
He's insanely fast.
Very fast.
Yeah, very fast. Didn't get a whole lot of, return opportunities. I think this was like the first week that we actually tried to take a kick out of the end zone and return it.
Yeah.
He's super fast, but he is super small. So, and the guys you go up against in the NFL these days, his chances of getting hurt are way higher than his chances of making it through and having a bunch of, returns, taking hits, stuff like that.
Yep. It does. We'll see if this opens the door for Donovan Peoples-Jones start seeing some playing time in the return game.
Yeah, I'm excited to kind of see, if what he can bring to the table. Hopefully we see him. If not, it'll probably be the backup running back Johnson. I think
D'Ernest, yeah,
whatnot Johnson. He was back there a few times in the past, so
that's his new name, D'Ernest Whatnot Johnson.
right.
We did see a couple guys return from injury this week. Kevin Johnson got, I think, 30-some snaps. It was good to see him out there. His spleen must not be lacerated anymore.
Yep.
And Jack Conklin returned to the lineup, and which I thought was key. We played a good defensive front. We had our full offensive line back, and I thought they played really well. And then I guess Mac Wilson came back for
he was
a handful of snaps.
Yeah, he was on the field for 6. Yeah, KJ played 38. Conklin didn't show any signs of weakness or of any rust or anything of being off. So that was good to see. Everybody on the line performed well on Sunday.
Yeah, and I know Denzel Ward was a little bit iffy going into the game. Was it a groin or something?
I think so.
Something like that. But it was good to see him out there, and I mean,
looked good. Looked good still.
He is good whenever he's healthy and playing, man. He is good.
Yeah, I think it came down to the cornerbacks wise is crazy. We played, I think, 6 different cornerbacks or something like that. Mitchell played every single snap. He's the only guy. All the other ones combined. It was this guy played 30. Kevin Johnson, I think, was second highest, and he just came back from injury. Denzel played 29. We had a bunch of guys in the 20s, splitting time. So definitely hoping, we get Greedy back soon.
Yes. Here's the thing about our defense, which we're going to get into, but I can't tell if we need to get healthy and then we'll get good, or if our scheme right now is just not great. I can't tell because even though we're missing, Mac and Greedy, Terrence Mitchell is still a very good NFL corner. We still have Carl Joseph back there. I feel like we should be able to cover some people, and we don't cover anybody.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I can't tell if it's we need to get healthy, or if it's. I guess once we get all these guys back, we'll be able to really gauge what the defense is going to be. But it kind of scares me a little bit thinking that maybe our system right now just isn't great.
Well, and you don't get any of that consistency, with the other guys on the field. Like, we're watching Baltimore the other night, and that secondary, that defense, those guys play together a lot. They know each other. It's kind of the same thing with like quarterback and his receivers. Like, if you start rotating a bunch of new receivers in, there's going to be some timing issues and things. So on defense as well, like, you kind of don't necessarily have that second instinct of, I know where that guy's going to be if this happens, and you just kind of do what you do. That kind of stuff too.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It's early. It's 3 games in. We've won 2 of them despite a bad defense. So
2-1.
We got time.
Yep.
We got time to, I think I was looking at the schedule, and even if we lose the obvious ones and win the obvious ones, we can still be 5-4 at the bye, something like that. I'll take that all day, every day for a Browns fan. So, all right. So, I want to get into what went right for the Browns. I'm going to start by giving my overall thoughts of the game since I slept through the recap on Sunday.
Right.
I thought you guys were a little tough on the Browns, post game. I know I texted Zach at 3:08 and some seconds or whatever and said ball game. That's because how many times in years past do you see the Browns come out, have a lead, and then come out, squander it, give it up, and then end up like getting blown out or something. So when I texted him ball game, I'm thinking I'm watching Browns of the old. But all we did then was force more turnovers, go down, score points, and end up running them out of the building. You're saying we were hard on them, but you gave up on them.
I did. Go to sleep, take a nap.
Right.
I'm going to get into what went wrong. It does make me sad that coming out at halftime we looked awful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then life, silver lining. We give up a lead, and as soon as we give up the lead, we went on our longest drive of the game.
Yeah, go take it right back.
And took it right. I think it was like 12 plays or something, and 10 of them were running plays. So, it was good to see us kind of answer. I just don't like that we came out at halftime flat.
No, but like you did say earlier, in years past, we'd come out and do that, and then it would be ball game.
Yeah.
It's over. But maybe things are a little different right now because they gave up that lead. It didn't look good, but it didn't stop them. They came back and just kept fighting, and it's different than before.
And here's what I loved about it is, so we squandered the lead, and there was no panic on Stefanski's end.
Well, you can't see his face, so who knows?
We didn't come out that next drive and start chucking the ball around. It doesn't matter. They got the lead. We're going to go back and do what we do. We ran the ball 10 times on that drive. It's so nice having an identity, like a philosophy, a system on offense, and sticking to it. If we would have lost that lead last year, there's no way we were coming back. Because Freddie would have came out and he would have emptied the trick playbook.
Yes.
And we would have end up just throwing the ball 30 times in the fourth quarter. We would have thrown 3 picks and we would have got ran out of the building. It was so nice that it's like the Browns know who they are. They know what they do well. And it doesn't matter how it's going. We're never going to get too high. We're never going to get too low. We're going to do what we do, and you got to try to stop it. And we have 2 Pro Bowl running backs, so good luck.
I think the running game too is going to open up a lot of things down the road.
Yes.
A lot of people are going to start putting everybody in the box. They're going to try to shut down our running backs, and we're going to see a lot of play action, a lot of double moves down. Hopefully Odell can,
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Maybe that Hooper money comes into, play.
Well, I think the big thing, when you looked at the schedule and you saw we were playing the football team in week 3, I think even before the season, we all had this circled as a win.
Yeah.
Right. So this is one of those games, past seasons, being Browns fans, the games you should win, we would be awful and wouldn't even compete. And then it'd be against a good team, we'd compete and be like, oh wow, look, we looked really good this week. And then, so it was one of those, when we got behind, I don't know what it was. Yes, years past, I was always worried. I was like, oh, great, here we go again or whatnot. Now we're behind, not going to be. But I wasn't worried on Sunday. And I don't know if it's just because of who we got now, personnel-wise and coaching-wise, but I wasn't really worried even when we went down in the third quarter.
Well, I'll tell you why I wasn't worried. It's because I knew that number 7 was going to trot back out there for the Washington offense and throw another pick.
Right?
Guys, come on. Is he maybe one of the worst, first round quarterback?
Bad. It's bad. It's bad.
Real
it's real bad.
Did he go in the first round?
As much.
Yeah.
Was he first round?
He was a first rounder.
As much slack, to use a nice word, that Deshaun Kaiser got as a quarterback in Cleveland. I mean, there's a lot of similarities in what you're seeing the first couple games this season. And Dwayne Haskins played last year. It's not like he's a rookie out there, Look at what Justin Herbert and some of these other rookies, Joe Burrow are out there doing. Have 3 games in, no camps, nothing, not all that time. Dwayne Haskins has got a year under his belt. And I don't see where he's taken a next step or gotten any better. It's almost like he went backwards.
So I might catch some flack from Ohio State fans for this, but even though he put up crazy numbers at Ohio State, I didn't think he was that good at Ohio State.
Well, yeah, and it's kind of, does he almost fall in the same category as like a Cardale Jones at like Ohio State? Like big arm, had really talented guys around him.
All Ohio State did was run those crossing routes, and Dwayne Haskins would hit a wide open guy, and then our receiver would take it for 60 yards.
Yeah.
So,
or Dobbins has, a bunch of yards rushing, and everybody's in the box, and he's got one-on-one everywhere, and he's playing against Big Ten cornerbacks, and he's got NFL prospect wide receivers that he can throw the ball up to.
I mean, if you remember that year, he threw like 50 touchdowns for Ohio State, and you didn't think we had that good of an offense.
No, and it's one of those, it's an eye test thing again, like we always talk about. I remember watching him at Ohio State thinking, this guy's projected to go first round. I mean, I get it. He's got the numbers, he's got the stats, whatever. They're winning all the games. He didn't look that good, though, and it's not like I watched Justin Fields last year, and I thought, now that's a first round quarterback.
Right.
Yeah, that kid looks good.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's that eye test. Now, I mean, if you look at their stats, their numbers, their wins, they both look like first rounders.
Yeah.
Right.
So, well, thank God he plays for the Washington football team because he helped us out a lot. Some more things I put in here that went right. Baker, he must be listening to the show. I didn't see him subscribe.
What's up, Baker?
Yeah.
Right.
But no turnovers, completed 70% of his passes, and threw 2 touchdowns, had 117 rating.
Now, is that 8 games now? Was it 8 games straight?
Yes, it was an 8-game streak that finally came to an end.
Turnovers.
Yep, turnover. I had it wrote down. I saw a stat that he threw for 154 yards in the win, which is the least amount of yards he has in a win in the NFL, which is, not too surprising, I wouldn't think, because normally you throw for $150, you don't win.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and usually when you throw for 95, you don't win either. So Baker outperformed Lamar Jackson this week.
Yes.
So congratulations, Baker.
Yes.
So I think as the season goes and we get even more comfortable in this offense and we start doing more things Stefanski wants to do, I think his passing yards are going to go up. But this game we didn't need 200 yards from him. And some of those completions, they were big third down completions. I remember there were certain times I was like, man, it's 3rd and long again. We're not going to get this. And then we completed it. So.
Well, after they took the lead and you said, ball game, I think we were down and it was a 3rd and 13 and we completed a pass over the middle to Odell. Yep. So I kind of put in here, the question, a lot of people out there, a lot of people are numbers. They want to see the big numbers. Baker didn't throw for 250 yards today, so he didn't have a great game or, stuff like that. So I put in here, does he have to be the next Drew Brees is what a lot of people want to see, that's, he's a kind of same size. Does he have to be that? I don't think we need him to be that. I think that, there's times where he shows oh, wow, yeah, he could be that type of a caliber of a thrower, but I don't want him to be that every Sunday. I don't want him to have to play like that.
And when you between Chubb and Hunt, they rushed 35 times. You don't have to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't have to throw the ball for 300 yards. When your running backs are getting you $152. I mean, what was it in the second game? They had 250 yards rushing?
Yeah.
The Browns are leading the league in rushing.
Yeah, you don't need 250, 300 yards.
Yeah, so Baker, just I don't care about your yards. Just keep, completion percentage up.
Good decisions.
No turnovers and control the game, Don't do the stupid stuff.
And I think as I said, as we get into this offense, more explosive plays will start to come and we'll start seeing Baker do some of the things that, we know he can do, but we're still very green in this offense right now too. We're only 3 games into this. We didn't have a training camp or anything like that. So I think those big plays will come. It's just, we got to get even more comfortable in this offense.
I think that Stefanski, to this point, is showing that he is a competent coach. And it's so refreshing because, my God, after last year was just, I want to throw up every Sunday afternoon. But, You know, with some, if he's the competent coach that can win games like this that he's supposed to win, you know, maybe we get some consistency in there. And we have no idea what consistency could do for Baker because he's never had it. So we have no idea. He could end up blossoming this year, next year into a very good quarterback that we thought and hoped he was going to be.
No, I think if Baker puts up 3,500 yards, throws for, you know, mid-20s touchdowns and keeps his interceptions like, you know, in the upper single digits, that's a great season for. If Baker does that, the Browns probably won a lot of games.
Yep. And go ahead.
Good.
To touch on what you said about coach, well, last year, penalties.
Oh.
Stupid decisions. Our penalties, 6 for 50.
Yeah.
Man, 6 for 50, that's
We had that in the first quarter last year. Yeah.
Yeah. A couple minutes into the first quarter.
we seem way more disciplined this year.
No turnovers usually. I mean.
Yeah, we got what? 2 picks this year? Baker's thrown 2 picks.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Have we lost any fumbles or anything? No. What do we got? You said we were up in the
Chubb
turnover.
Yeah, we're
Chubb fumbled.
Yeah, so turnover wise, we came into the game -2 in our turnover differential, and we left +3 because we didn't have any this week. And that's, I mean,
Good
that's
teams win the
huge.
turnover battle.
Yes.
At
That's
least
huge.
usually.
Just okay, kind of spoiler, we're going to preview the Cowboys right now. We're sitting at +3. They're at -4 going into week 4. You know, and being -4, they could probably very easily be 3-0 right now, but too many turnovers and they're sitting at 1-2.
They could very easily be 0-3 right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
if Atlanta didn't suck. So.
Yeah. So we'll get into that. I want to give a shout out here. I thought Wyatt Teller played a super good game. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but we ran that counter where he pulled so many times. It was so, and every single time he would pancake somebody and we'd get 10 yards.
He's a tough guy, man. Like watching him is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Because he's just out there bowling people down, man.
You know, we thought, you know, we weren't sure who was going to step into that spot and take it. And I feel like he stepped in, and I think the Browns have a good offensive line this year.
Oh, yeah, we're solid now, I think. You know, that was the big question mark. We're solid as a unit. I'm still not sold on Dedrick Wills yet. I kind of mentioned that in the breakdown that we had right after the game.
All this pressure, we give up 2 sacks.
I know, but I'm still not. It was not just the sacks. It was, I felt like every time we were, and now this is passing situation. So I said that I think Wills Jr. is really good when he has to pull, because sometimes we'll pull him and he's athletic enough, you know, and quick enough to get through gaps and stuff like that to get to the second level. But in pass blocking, I worry about him. And I mentioned TJ Watt's name, that I wasn't the only one that had to notice it. Other people are going to attack him because Montez Sweat got around him pretty much whenever he wanted.
We gave up 2 sacks, and we have an unathletic white quarterback, so he couldn't get around him that much because Baker's not eluding that much pressure. I think a lot of pressure we see Baker get is in Baker's head. He gets happy feet. As soon as that clock hits like 2 seconds and he's in the pocket and hasn't got rid of the ball yet, he just starts panicking.
That is the one thing that it worries me about Baker. He's got to get that fixed. I blame that 100% on Freddie and the BS he put us through last year, because Baker had none of that as a rookie.
Yeah.
He was confident. He would step up in the pocket and I remember watching him step up and make throws, you know, get hit in the mouth. And it was like, man, we got us a tough quarterback. And now he drops back and he's like, ugh, like he just shaking all over the place.
He looks like deer. If that ball's not gone in 2 seconds, he starts to get deer in the headlights. Look, his feet start. He just starts.
It's like
doing
PTSD from last year, I swear.
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of phantom pressure when it comes to Baker that he's still working through.
Yes.
So I guess, I'm not as nervous about Wills as Zach is. I mean, he's still a rookie and he's 3 games in.
Well, and I'm with you. I think a running offense is more simple. I mean, that's why you see rookie running backs come in and be successful like that, and rookie receivers take a while. Passing offenses, it's a little more of an adjustment. So I will see by the end of the year what this passing offense turns into. But right now, man, we got that run game going.
Yep.
I put in here, I like that we made an early effort to get Hooper the ball. We still need to figure out ways to get him more involved. But I guess you could say that probably about everybody in our passing game. I guess when we're only throwing the ball 23 times, only completing 16 passes, if Baker's spreading the ball around to whoever's open. Nobody's going to get a ton of targets. But, man, we paid this guy a lot of money, and he's got, like 7 catches in 3 games?
Yeah, one of the numbers I saw where there were 7 different Browns that caught a pass this week.
And I think last week it was 8.
Yeah, not one person had more than 4. So, yeah, it's probably frustrating a little bit, I would still say, and we said this last week for Hooper, coming in as he was a big target, volume guy in Atlanta because all they did was throw the football. So coming to Cleveland's a little bit different. And I know that in the press conference, Stefanski raved, about his blocking. He's willing, he's out there and you can see, he's caring about the running game, getting the running game going, him and Harrison Bryant. So that's good to see. I don't know how much that is. Maybe he's just kind of like, hey, look, I'm noticing you throwing your name out there to kind of keep him happy type of a thing.
I will say that Hooper knew what he was getting into. Nobody put a gun to his head and told him he had to sign with Cleveland. He knew the kind of offense Stefanski was going to be running. But I don't know. There's just not going to be a ton of targets. And when Baker's spreading the ball around, not forcing it to anybody, it makes the Browns tougher to defend. So, as much as I want to see some of the big numbers from these guys, I just want to see W's, and I want to see our offense be productive. We've scored over 30 points 2 weeks in a row. So, like I said, I think the explosive plays will come, especially we're leading the league in rushing. Eventually, teams are going to start stacking the box. Right. I think they're still, for some reason, they're not taking us serious when it comes to this run game because, it seems like we still don't have a ton of open guys whenever we do throw, but eventually they're going to load the box and make us throw. And that's when I think we'll start to see some of the explosive plays.
Yeah, I agree.
I was going to say, here's a stat I do like. Odell Beckham, 6 targets, 4 catches. I do not want to see any more of those 10 targets, 3 catch games because that means Baker is dropping back and going, where's Odell? Where's Odell? And by that point, Blake, you're at that 2 seconds where then he gets that happy feet. Quit looking at Odell. If he's not your first read, go to your first read first. That's what he did as a rookie so well. It was going through progressions, hit the open guy. Don't worry about who it is. Don't worry about what name is on the back of the jersey. You just throw to the open guy.
Right, yeah. I think, and they made it, they put it on there in the broadcast on Sunday. It was the first time Odell was targeted in the first quarter so far this year.
I thought Odell's played well the last 2 weeks. He doesn't have crazy big numbers, especially this week. But of those 4 catches, were they all on first down? Or it's on third down? They were big. I feel like every time he made a catch, it was to convert a 3rd and long. And teams are still – people are talking a lot of crap that Odell's not elite anymore. But if you watch the tape, teams are still doubling him every time. Yeah. That Kareem Hunt touchdown catch, it's because the guy guarding Odell and the safety jumped Odell on the slant and left Kareem Hunt one-on-one wide open. So he's still the best distraction a team could ask for. Some more things, we've mentioned 30-plus consecutive games for the first time in a decade. I think that's absolutely insane. We forced 5 turnovers. Forced. And then
we graciously accepted 5 turnovers, courtesy of Dwayne Haskins.
Hey, I just want to throw that out there real quick. Just taking us back. Life hasn't been this good since the Mike Pettin era. Just saying.
Oh my God!
Just wanted to throw.
We
that
don't
reminder.
need to get back into that. We don't need to get back into that. I just need Stefanski to keep winning so you can change your tune about who the Browns' best coach is. And then the last thing I got in here for what went right is I thought Myles Garrett had his best game of the season so far.
Yep.
He had 2 sacks. One of them was another strip sack. So that's 2 weeks in a row he's had a strip sack. And this was the first game where even when he wasn't getting sacks, I felt like I noticed him consistently. He never disappeared. Even week 1, I didn't even know he played against the Ravens, even though they threw the ball 30 times. Last week he had the strip sack, but I didn't really notice him that much. This week he consistently popped off the tape for me. So I thought this was his best game of the season so far.
Yeah, he had 7 QB pressures. According to Next Gen Stats, those 7 QB pressures translated to 3 of the turnovers. So he was credited, statistically, that he was involved in Dwayne Haskins throwing right to our, linebackers in the middle of the field. He also leads the league now with Bosa, and LA for QB pressures with 19. So as much as, we're saying, he's kind of been struggling, where is he? He's right there at the top after 3 weeks.
So he leads the league in 19 with pressures, and 7 of them were in this game. So when we said, we still need to see more out of him in the first 2 games, I feel like we weren't way off base. He had half of his pressures for the season in 1 game. So now we just need him to continue to build on that, which is what I was critical of him last year. I said, people talked about how he had 10 sacks in 10 games, but 4 of them were against the Jets in 1 game. So there's 3-4 games out there where he wasn't doing anything. So now I just want to see him build on this game. I thought this was a really, really good game for him. So hopefully he can continue. We're going to need him next week. Going to need him next week.
As much as we're trashing the defense too, our defensive line is playing Sheldon Richardson had a great game.
Ogunjobi's playing well.
Yeah.
I think Richardson had at least a sack, a tackle for loss, and a knockdown at the line. I remember him a lot. Honestly, if Myles Garrett doesn't get the strip sack, I'm thinking, man, Richardson is having a really, really nice game.
If we could cover anybody in the secondary, who knows how we'd be up front.
We'd be able to get to the quarterback, and they wouldn't throw the ball in immediately.
So that's what I had as went right for the Browns. I think a lot more went right for the Browns this week than what went wrong, which is a nice trend. Hopefully, before the end of this season, the what went wrong section of this podcast will be.
I like how that the right list is this long and the wrong list is a lot smaller.
After week 1,
nice
it was
visual.
not like that. It was not like that week 1.
I think we had to go, where's the right? Where's the right?
And even some of these wrongs. So for the what went wrong, we talked about how we look way more disciplined. We only had 6 penalties, but to me, did they not seem at least a couple of them untimely?
Untimely is key. Third down, putting us in third and long, like a 3rd and 20 for our offense. I think you were the one that said it. We're not going to convert on those. Not in this offense.
A couple of them were drive killers. The first drive of the game.
Drive killer, yeah. Yep,
so
first one.
Until we start getting those explosive plays out of this offense that we all think are going to come eventually as we get into it more, we can't afford those untimely penalties. And I know, obviously there's going to be penalties. It's football. But, man, let's just try to cut false starts in stadiums with only 6,000 people and you're at home. Come on now. We don't need false starts.
Yeah, so we were we ended the game 8 of 14 on 3rd down. But I got that wrong. But we had 3rd and 6 on 8 of the 14. At least 3rd and 6. We started the game 3 of 10 on 3rd down, but those penalties, even when we get them on 1st, 2nd down, it still puts you behind the stick. So that's why our average, is 3rd and 6 that we're got to go for, and not your 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 3. Now you got the opportunity where you're like, well, we could run the ball
or play action.
Right. And you the defense has to guess a little bit more. 3rd and 6, you're most likely passing, unless it's like 4th and 11 and you're Freddie Kitchens and you run the ball. Type of a
QB
thing.
draw on 4th and 11.
That type of stuff. But, I think that the penalties, I like that the numbers are down. But, it feels like every time it comes in a bad spot. Wills had 2 of them, false starts. Him in those happy feet because he knew he was going against Montez Sweat.
He had a tough game. He had a tough game. But, I mean, he's very raw.
Third game.
Yeah.
Yep. We're all young. And again, to Blake's point, 2 sacks.
Yep.
Right.
Good on the line, good on Baker for not taking sacks, get rid of the ball. So it's improving. I mean, and that's the thing that we don't see from the Browns every year is improving from one game to the next. Usually it's like they have a game, you're like, oh, okay, there's a little bit of promise there. And then the next week you're like, okay, now they're 10 steps below where they were 3 weeks ago.
So this is the first time we're over 584 games. How many times in that last 84 games have we been like 1-1 and you're like, man, we play the worst team in the league next week. The Browns are going to be over 500. And then we come out and get beat by that team.
The one win is definitely not the season opener. So I would say even 1-1, I feel like is being wildly optimistic. I remember a lot of 1-4s.
Right.
And we got,
right.
I think we've joked around like, we got to win like the next 8 games in a row. And we're right there in the hunt for the wild card spot.
Right.
Come on now.
Yeah, no. Another thing that I didn't like that we got to and it happened right there coming out of halftime. We're back to back with 3 and outs. Can't have the 3 and outs. We had 3 of them in the game this week. I'm not sure where we're at on the year, but especially when the team was rolling and you just needed like that first down to like, because out of the second half, our defense, one, not great. Okay, so Washington scores. We go 3 and out. Washington scores. So, I mean, and we see that with almost any team in the NFL. You get that momentum going. I don't know if you guys were watching last night, but Kansas City, they had the momentum the whole game because Baltimore couldn't do anything. It was like Kansas City's getting on the field, they're going down to score. The only times that they didn't score was a fumble. They went for it on 4th and 1 and didn't get it. Like, that game could have been a lot worse. It could have been more than whatever it ended up.
Kansas City did exactly what we've been saying the whole time to do to Baltimore. Make Lamar Jackson throw the ball.
Yeah.
It doesn't work out very well for the Ravens.
Mitch Trubisky?
Hey, so
that's so criminal.
Trubisky had more yards before he got benched than Lamar did the whole game.
Yeah.
95 yards?
I was trusting.
What?
Okay, so I went in the last night, so we've kind of talked about maybe Josh should do a fantasy football podcast.
Yes.
I needed
Yes.
Lamar Jackson just to, be a quarterback. It's on Monday night.
Serviceable quarterback.
And I was getting so frustrated. Like, I couldn't be a Ravens fan and watch last night's game. They were doing some Browns-like stuff. 3rd and 4. We throw a 1-yard pass or whatnot, like drop it down to the 1-yard Marquise Brown, going out of bounds. No way he was going to get the first down. I was frustrated for my fantasy team.
Because I hate the Ravens.
I was going to say, Ravens fans, hey, it'll be all right. Welcome. Oh, you guys had one bad game. Hey, I've been doing this I'm 34 years old. My whole life. Chill out. You'll be fine.
Ravens will be fine as long as number 15 doesn't line up across them because they cannot beat Mahomes. Now 4-0 against them.
But
That's what I like.
He's excellent.
Man, I hate the Ravens.
Well, he solidified
so
his position. I mean, if there was any doubt, which I had no doubt.
No doubt.
We talked about it. He got paid like the best because he is the best.
I liked his fiance posted something on Twitter that was like, yeah, remember when you guys said he was number 4? We didn't forget it either.
Yeah, he didn't forget.
Yeah.
We laughed about that. We said he'll take a mental note of that and burn everybody.
I know we're talking Browns, but still.
Yes.
Underhanded pass at the goal line to a fullback. I mean, like, he's just running, he just flips it. Underhand.
He just looks like that kid who's like the best athlete playing.
Yeah.
He was the quarterback of your football team at recess.
Yeah.
And he's just doing stupid stuff.
He's like
it
doing
always
like
works.
just spin around in the air, throwing the ball. Yeah.
So do you guys ever kind of think that he kind of runs weird? Does anybody else see that?
We said that he like whenever he runs and walks, like
I think he kind of talks weird.
I think that's.
I mean,
I said it's electricity and flowing through his veins.
So not only is he now has a fiance, they are pregnant as well. So shotgun wedding maybe. That just came across. Bleacher Report reported that they are pregnant.
I don't get those kind of updates on my phone. Mine are more like injury related. But
No, I get everything.
I see that.
He wants to know when.
Yeah, he's super. He's got the TMZ connected one too.
He's already scouting Patrick Mahomes III. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, well,
Good for you, man.
Lord knows we're not scouting his brother. So.
Unless you're trying to start a new TikTok.
Keep it going. I can't. Oh, wow. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Enough bashing the Ravens, but it's fun. It's fun when we get to do it.
All right. So one more. When we were talking about the slow third quarter, I think we had 12 yards in the third quarter.
That's crazy.
I didn't realize that.
It was super forgettable.
Yeah. So, third quarter, I don't know. We played football. Though, what coach you have to always say, the most important drive of the game is your first drive on offense and your first drive on defense in the third quarter. Mm-hmm. We lost that bad.
Yep.
We gave up a touchdown and we went 3 and out. So I want to see us come out, especially against better teams. We got to come out at halftime. That's when you're supposed to have that should be scripted almost. That should be one of your best drives of the game. So we gotta do better coming out of the half.
Well, you got to think coming out of half, somebody's going to have a good. Both teams went into script, right, to make adjustments and things. Somebody's going to come out and be like, we did it well, and the other person's going to say, we didn't do it as well. So but
I agree.
But, and then the last thing I put in here is I love our offense right now. I just want to start to see some more of the explosive plays, but I also think we're going to take what the defense gives us.
Yep.
If they're not going to load the box and they're going to still keep trying to, keep Odell and Jarvis and Hooper from dominating the game, we'll just keep running the ball and leading the league in rushing. I think Stefanski's perfectly okay with doing, taking what the defense is going to give us.
Something I think got overlooked by, I saw it, Nick Chubb, first Brown player since 1964, 67, 2 touchdowns over 100 yards. And you think of all like the fun running backs that we've had, in the last 20 years, even like Jamal Lewis, William Green, those were like some really, really athletic guys. And this guy just broke a, 50-year record for a Browns player.
Did you say 100 yards and 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, in back-to-back games.
Oh, okay. That's where I was lost. I'm like, I thought Chubb just did that.
Yeah, he broke his own record. He one-upped himself.
If anybody was going to do it, it's going to be Chubb. Chubb is...
He's awesome.
And is he good?
And he's so... we were laughing. We're in that group text, and, I want to say it was Chris Spielman. Chris Spielman's like, they got to go back to the sideline and just take a look at how big this hole opened up. Literally, 2 plays later, he cut completely back across the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Spielman, when he was talking about that cutback, I was like, bro, nobody's making that cutback. This play was an outside run play. Yeah. And it wasn't even that big of a hole. There's definitely a guy there.
Waiting.
And I was like, bro, there was no cutback there.
Yep,
I love you, Chris Spielman, but what are you talking about? I do like Chris
Spielman a lot. Yeah.
And so I was like, come on now.
Yeah.
You're just saying things to say things.
2 plays later, he basically did that. Except he just shed it off, three players on the way to the end zone.
That was a booger comment there.
He was like, hey, I haven't said anything in a while. I'm just... Chubb should have cut back. Yeah. Look, there's a little sliver of daylight there.
Yeah, why'd he run that way? The play was designed for him to cut back and spin around, flip the ball to Baker.
6-yard juke back to the middle.
Yeah, he's supposed to make an 8-yard jump cut.
Yeah, absolutely.
But hey, that's pretty much all I got in the what went wrong section. I thought, obviously we could have done things better. We could have looked more explosive, but this was a game I was anxious to see how the offense performed because they do have a good defense. And I wanted to see, did the offense look good just because we played the Bengals, or are we actually starting to make strides in this offense? And I know we were given short fields and stuff like that, but in years past, Browns don't turn those into touchdowns. And we turned those in, I think of the 5 turnovers, we got 21 points off of them. So...
Yeah, I mean, usually when they turn the ball, the other team turns the ball over, we give it right back to them.
Yeah,
somehow.
We'll punt or turn it back over, or we'll miss a field goal, something like that. We turned it into 3 touchdowns, and that's what good teams do. So, to me, for us to put up 30 points again, I think the offense, we lead the league in rushing. I think we're doing some good things on offense, and I think this... I know we play the Cowboys next week, and we're all a little bit scared of the Cowboys, and I'm not scared of the Cowboys because I think we can control the tempo and control the game.
I'm scared of the Cowboys. I'm scared of the Cowboys because I am, because we're going to preview them. I've been looking at their stats. The fact that they're, Dak's averaging 420 yards passing per game, and he's played the Seahawks and
Atlanta
better, and I forget who they played week 1.
The Rams.
Yes, so they've played them. We've played the Redskins, the Bengals, and then the Ravens.
Yeah.
Well, so here, I'm going to get into the Cowboys preview here. He is averaging a lot of yards passing per game, but that's because they're losing every single game. And they should be 0-3 right now. The only reason they have a win is because the Falcons can't keep a lead on anybody.
But you think about it, they didn't lose that bad to the Rams, so they could have been 1-0. The Falcons, they should have gotten blown out, obviously, but they won that game. But so they'd been 1-1, say things went the way they're supposed to. The other reason they lost the Seahawks because they played Russell Wilson. I mean, they were winning at the end of the game, and you just can't stop Russell Wilson this year.
Yeah. So, and I agree. He's definitely. I know Mahomes went off last night, but that's going to be a fun MVP race.
He might actually get one MVP vote.
Think
this
of that
year.
Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
that's a great preview.
So the things with the Cowboys that their defense is bad.
Yeah,
their defense is bad. They got a couple good defensive linemen, but that's pretty much it. Their defense is pretty bad. I mean, comparing them to the Browns, it's not far off from what we throw out there. I would take our D line against theirs.
Yep.
But and then their injury, they got injuries too. Van Der Esch, one of their big linebackers, out. Sean Lee, he's out. He's always out.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But so they get down in games, and then they got to throw the ball. So yeah, he's going to put up the yards. So it's defense, and they got a lot of turnovers. What did we say? They're -4.
Well, even like so for Dak, this last game against Seattle, like huge monster line, but 2 picks. Like,
well, the second pick was a Hail Mary at the end of the game, trying to just
okay.
so that doesn't really count.
Yeah,
it counts in fantasy, but
yeah, absolutely. But like, so here's my only thing with like, if we're getting into this preview, I don't think that we can get into a shootout with Dallas.
There's no such thing.
We literally cannot.
So
Here's the
we
thing.
cannot.
I think, it's 2 completely different types of offense. When Dallas is on the field, they're going to be 3 wide receivers set shotgun. When we're on the field, we're going to be what we do.
Yeah.
I think the Browns can't afford any 3 and outs this week. I think we got to score. We got to get some points on pretty much every single possession, and it's got to be mostly touchdowns. We can't settle for field goals because our defense is so bad and they do have so many weapons. I think, if we want to win this game, we're going to have to score over 30 again.
And I think that we have to completely control game clock. Like, if they're out there, they're going to be scoring.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing about controlling it too, especially if we can get a lead. You got to try to, because the Cowboys, with all the weapons they got, they can score in under a minute
at will.
I mean,
and they did.
Yeah, and that's how they're able to get down by 30 points and come back in a quarter because they scored on 4 plays or something. They score on 4 plays. Hey, we got to stop or whatnot. Hey, we just scored on 1 play.
Cedric Wilson's second touchdown in the game against Seahawks, it was either a 2 or a 3 play drive. It was big play, touchdown.
Yeah, so
and all of a sudden it's like, well, that was quick.
Yeah, and everybody kind of watching that game. I don't know if you guys, but I have back to fantasy. I have Amari Cooper. I'm like, who's this Cedric Wilson guy getting these bombs or whatnot? So they have Cedric Wilson, who came alive this week, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup, and Amari Cooper as their 4 wide receivers.
And I'm going to go out and say that Michael Gallup's probably their best receiver.
Michael Gallup is very good.
When he catches the ball,
underrated.
Yeah. I would hate to try to tackle him. He just looks like, I'm going to catch the ball and I'm going to push you down to get where I need to go. Yeah,
one guy that, he's got 219 yards, Zeke.
I was just going to say, didn't Zeke have like 30 yards or something like that?
He hasn't, I don't know, and it's because they've been down or whatnot, but he it's not like the same Zeke, the feed me type, Zeke that you're used to seeing.
He does have 5 touchdowns through 3 games.
Yeah.
So when they get around the goal line, they finish.
And he's also in the turnover. He's fumbled twice this year through 3 games.
He had 14 carries against the Seahawks. Dak attempted 57 passes.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, Dak's got 1,200 yards passing in 3 games. Baker's got 560.
Zeke also had 12 targets and 6 catches. So if they're not having the running game, like he's still a weapon out there. And that's the thing is, I'm sorry, Browns fans, but you got to agree with me. I don't think we got the defenders to guard all these guys. I mean, what are we going to do?
Here's I would play. No team in the NFL really has defenders to defend all those guys, and yet they're sitting at 1 and 2. So it's they're beatable.
Got to control the clock. Got to control the clock.
Yep.
Your
absolutely.
Can't turn the ball over.
Defense is your offense staying on the field.
I was going to say it was the Rams offense, which looks rejuvenated this year.
Yep.
And it was the Seahawks offense, which is Russell Wilson. I mean, you can't compare those 2 offenses to the Browns offense right now.
And even Atlanta has Matt Ryan throwing the ball. Calvin Ridley is the new guy down in Atlanta.
Not Julio anymore.
It's not Julio, and Julio's banged up and whatnot, but it is not Julio anymore.
Nope.
Calvin Ridley is a monster.
He's
So I guess that's my thing is I'm just worried that our offense isn't good enough to keep pace with. I mean, guys, they're going to score points.
Here's the thing that helps us with our offense, I think, is these offenses, like the Seahawks and the Rams, they score quick, give Dallas the ball back. We're going to score on hopefully 8, 10 play, 8-minute long drives, limit their possessions. So time of possession to me is huge. Can't turn the ball over, that kind of thing.
And going back to their defense and what they struggle, their defense is giving up 127 yards per game to the rush. Right now, Cleveland's averaging 170 yards a game.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and take 200 this week, I'm sure.
Yeah, so that is pound the ball. Like I said, try to keep them off the field. And, for us to come out, I think, and win this game, we got to be, plus 1 or 2 turnovers from them. I think if we can get a couple turnovers and we don't cough the ball up, hopefully not at all, but not more than once, and, we get 2 takeaways, and we're able to convert those into points, because that's what we did this week. We took all the turnovers and we were converting them into touchdowns. That we got a legitimate chance to go in there and win. And, I don't know if Dallas is allowing fans or not either, but that's another, that would be a tough place to go and play. And right now, you don't got that factor either.
I'll say this, as scared as we are of their offense, they should be just as scared as our offense, because they can't stop the run. And turns out the Browns are leading the league in rushing.
Well, I think is their top cornerback, I believe, is out, or he was out against Seattle. I don't know if he's going to play. Awuzie, I think his name.
Yes. Yeah.
But either way, they're banged up too. Their defense is nothing to write home about at all. So, if we can control the clock, do our thing with the rush, and this could be a Beckham game where he gets downfield and gets behind a couple guys, and all of a sudden he's got 2 50-plus yard touchdowns.
This might be the game where we start to see those explosive plays, because they can't stop the run. And so I feel like their only way that they're going to combat that is they're going to try to load the box.
Yep. Well, and
they're going to try to make Baker go over the top. We got the weapons to do that.
Russell Wilson was just dropping back and just throwing it straight up in the air as far as he could and letting his guys run under it. And it worked.
Yeah. And I was just getting, they're, they could suffer from that in the run game, the bombs, play action, throw it up to Odell. We might finally get to see a couple of those plays happen in this game, hopefully, and that it'll work out. I don't know if that's what our game plan is going to be or not, but because Seattle could have had another one. DK Metcalf would run into the end zone and just then celebrate instead of
stopped on the 5 or something.
Yeah,
it was
just trotting in, and all of a sudden here came Diggs from behind, punched the ball through the end zone.
Smart play on his part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fantasy guys who needed that long touchdown are probably upset on this Tuesday.
All right. So I think we need.
I think it's gonna be a fun game.
I agree, and we're gonna get into our pick, but. So I don't want to give it away until we make our pick.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So on that note, why don't we move into our picks?
All right. Yeah. So breaking down week 3, same trend. Josh wins week 3, 12-4 record. Justin, you went 11-5. Blake 10-6. I went 8-8. I took some chances.
You suck.
I took some chances. We'll see where we're at the end of the year. I took some chances. My first one Thursday night, I felt pretty good. I was the only one to take the Dolphins.
Yeah, I was worried. You got off to a great start.
The Dolphins look
I took the Dolphins, the Rams. I don't know what you made that huge comeback, and then the pass interference call at the end of the game. Kind of extended the game.
Super questionable call.
If that
I liked it
call's
because I
not
picked
made,
the Bills. So.
Yeah,
so I had the Rams there.
Yeah.
Me and Blake both took Vegas and lost.
I can't believe I took Vegas.
You were very, very on board with it because
well, they looked good on Monday night, and then you were
on that high still.
They look good against New Orleans. And then everybody lost Cincy Philly because that game there.
Even Cincy and Philly lost in that.
It's bad. I mean, Philly, they're just out of the Super Bowl, not too long ago, and they are not anything close to what they were.
I think it's time
Jalen Hurts.
to move on from Carson Wentz, or at least give it a try.
Carson Wentz, I think, can be a good NFL quarterback, but I just don't know if him and the Doug Peterson system is going to work anymore.
It's Carson Wentz was MVP the year they won the Super Bowl. If he doesn't,
I think it was his second year in the league.
If he doesn't tear his ACL, he was the front runner.
He was good as a rookie. We played him week 1 of his rookie year, and I was like, hey, this guy, because everybody was like, hey, who are they taking this guy from South Dakota or whatever it was?
State or
who are they taking this guy? And then he came out, and I was like, oh boy, and he's going to be good for multiple years.
And it's just like, I don't know, him and Doug Peterson, that marriage isn't. Carson Wentz seems to me though the kind of guy, like if he would go to like any team, like if Rodgers retires and he goes up to Green Bay, like something like that. I don't know.
I feel bad for him in the sense that all Philly does is draft like these receivers, and they're like, all right, we're gonna get some weapons in here every offseason. Let's get some weapons for Carson. Week 1, everybody, all right, call the practice squad guys up. Everybody's hurt. You know, Goddard's out now. I mean, it's like, geez, man, they're always banged up.
Yeah, so everybody lost that. We all won the Pittsburgh, all won the Indy. Chargers let us all down.
Yep.
They let us all down. Matt Rule got his first win. Tom Brady did his thing. Denver's on their third quarterback. Driscoll got benched. So now we got...
Brett Ripon. Or is that how you even say his name? I've never even heard of this guy.
I thought it was Ripon. But
is it Ripon or Ripon?
I heard Ripon, but...
Yeah, I don't know.
Boise State guy. I looked him up today because I was like, do I want to go and waste a waiver claim on this guy? And I was like, I've never even heard of him.
I remember him in college, but... That was it.
Kyler let us down, except for Josh. Josh took the Lions at Arizona.
Called it.
I took Dallas. I lost that one. Everybody got Green Bay. Green Bay looks legit.
Yes.
This year.
They look really
Drew
good.
Brees looked a little better this week. Getting Michael Thomas maybe back this week. We'll see.
Alvin looks great.
Alvin
looks
Everybody
healthy
who stayed away from Alvin in fantasy,
Whoops.
you're regretting it right now.
Back-to-back 40-point games.
He is the 2020 CMC.
Yes.
So that's what CMC was doing last year.
He is the one screen pass that they threw him or whatnot, and he was just like jogging down the field.
And
with
everybody
his center,
was missing his
I think it was
missing tackles on him.
Yeah,
It
his
was unreal.
center
Came back to the last
was like
block.
leading him down the field and like 40 yards downfield throwing blocks. And then Kansas City, Baltimore. We split. Me and Blake took Baltimore. Weren't on the right end of that one. So after 3 weeks, we got Josh with a total record of 39-9.
Well done,
impressive. That's impressive.
I can't believe I'm not putting money on this stuff.
Justin,
some parlay sheets.
34-14. Blake 35-13. So you're in second place by a game over Justin. Then I'm at 30-18, 9 games off the lead. So,
oh man,
that takes us into week 4.
Where are we taking Josh to eat?
Yeah, so this will take us to week 4, opening up on Thursday night. Denver at the Jets. Just talked about them having their third string quarterback. So, who's going to tune into this game on Thursday night?
Not me.
I will because it's football, just for a little bit.
Do you
at
guys
least.
want me to start this off?
Go. Well, it's not like it's. Go ahead.
Very, very exciting game. Very exciting game. I'm going to take the Jets, guys.
All right.
Yes, I'm going to do it.
Adam Gase getting a win.
Adam Gase is getting, Darnold.
Adam Gase is the worst head coach I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Ever. And I'm a Browns fan.
And Darnold does not look good. That Trevor Lawrence thing is looking pretty promising
I don't
for
know
New
if
York.
you guys saw Dan Orlovsky came out and said that his 0-16 Lions team would beat this New York Jets team 16 times.
I think Hugh Jackson's like, where were these guys when I was in town?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, Blake, what do you got?
Oh man, this is maybe the hardest game to pick.
Yes.
It's a pick 'em. Pick 'em on Thursday night.
Because Denver's defense doesn't look that good anymore. They're on their third string quarterback. But I'm going Denver because I can't pick Adam Gase.
Yeah. It's fair.
Josh?
Give me Denver, dude. Yep. The Jets, no way.
I'm just going to start picking after Josh every time and just take who he takes because
I will take Ripon, or however you say his name, against Gase any day of the week.
I'm with Justin. I'm going Jets. We're going to split on this one. I'm going Jets 2-2.
Now we got to watch Thursday night just so we know.
Chris Herndon, I need you to come through, buddy, at the tight end position.
Yeah.
That means you need Darnold to come through. That's not happening.
Yeah, well, who's their backup? Where I thought Joe Flacco was there. And
he's got a neck injury, or he's been. Who knows? I don't know, man.
Him throwing left-handed might be a better option. So next we got Indianapolis at Chicago with Nick Foles at the helm. I'll start us off here. I'm going to go with Indy. I like Indy. I like their offense. Jonathan Taylor is for real.
He's very for real, and they're giving him the ball. I'm also going to go Indy based on Taylor.
I'm going to go Chicago because Zach has the worst record at the pick 'em and you pick Indy.
I'm going to go Chicago as well because Indy now has no receivers except for T.Y. Hilton, which means they have no receivers. Yeah, and I think Foles magic just might be
Foles
something
magic.
to look at. Yeah.
Oh,
3
my.
touchdowns.
The only thing I'm going to say about Nick Foles is he doesn't do great other than his 1 year in Philly when he is the starter. Comes into games off the bench, guys like the best closer or whatnot in the game. But
Rivera.
we'll see. All right, plus Indianapolis's defense is pretty good. Ask
Yes.
Sam Darnold. Jacksonville at Cincinnati. Minshew against Burrow.
You guys want me to start it?
Good.
I'm going to go ahead and say Burrow does get his first win. He got his first tie. Now he gets his first win. I see them beating Jacksonville.
Yeah, I saw Jacksonville look not very good on Thursday night last week, and I do think Burrow's going to come in and he's rolling, guys. Like,
Yeah.
I think
for real.
Baker's
He's very for
touchdown
real.
record is
In danger.
it is in danger. So
got
I will
lit
go.
up in
Yeah,
that
he
game.
did. Who you
He
got,
did, but
Blake?
he kept going.
Yeah.
Who you taking here? You going against
Against
your
your boy?
boy
Yeah.
Minshew down there?
He can't play defense too, so I'm going to go with the Bengals.
I'm going to go with the Bengals as well. I really like Joe Burrow, and Tyler Boyd is the new lead guy there.
Yeah.
AJ Green.
Yeah, tell
Sorry.
me about it.
By the way, for you guys that don't know, Blake made a traded T. Higgins. He caught 2 touchdowns this week
Yeah, how'd you feel about that one, Blake?
in the Dynasty League.
Hey,
So I don't think he was.
also, not to give you grief on this, can we bring up the other thing?
Yeah, so so in my other league, I have Cortland Sutton and Chris Godwin, and they were both hurt, so I had them both on the IR. And I was doing waiver claims quickly because I was, we'll say, on the clock, and accidentally dropped Chris Godwin instead of Cortland Sutton. Could have used commish powers to just put him back on my team.
Oh, no.
I didn't. Instead, I went and I traded back for Chris Godwin from the guy.
Yep.
And
then
now
he
he's
got
hurt.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It is
really is
awesome,
awesome.
because it's not me.
No. and I can't even say anything because I got steamrolled in that league this week. Like, it's
Yeah.
depressing.
Fantasy's not looking good for me this year.
Yeah.
Not
All
looking
right.
good at all.
Next game, we got maybe Michael Thomas back, taking on Adrian Peterson, Matt Stafford, and the Lions at Detroit. Saints at Detroit. I am going to take New Orleans because I like Alvin Kamara.
I'm going the Saints.
Yep, give me the New Orleans Camaras.
Yep.
But this, I think this could be a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
So, okay, moving into if this game happens, we got Pitt at Tennessee. If this game happens, got some COVID.
Now, just for anybody out there, like for a quick fantasy advice, neither of these teams, Titans and Vikings, who just played last week, are going to practice at all this week.
Till Saturday. Yeah, they
Till
said
Saturday, but-
So it's possible. So did they move the game to Monday yet? Because I did get the alert that it is possible that this game does get pushed back to
I didn't
Monday.
see an
the
official
Titans
thing
game.
yet.
I didn't see that.
So I did see that on the ESPN app that they could push this game back to Monday. So for your fantasy football lineups out there,
That'll help.
You
Pay attention.
You want to pay attention. You don't want to get stuck Monday and be
Well,
like, who's playing
and not
Monday?
even-
Who can I steal off Atlanta or Green Bay to just try to salvage this week?
They said they might even move this to their bye week or something like that too. So there's a chance this game doesn't happen at all this week. So just heads up.
All right, so who we got? We got to pick it anyway. I'm going to start us off, and I'm going to take Pittsburgh because I think that if there's one defense out there that can kind of bottle up what Derrick Henry can do, it would be them.
I'm going to go Pittsburgh because Tennessee really hasn't looked that impressive this year so
Their
far.
defense isn't what I thought it was going to be coming into the year. So I'll take Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Pitt across the board. All right, next game we have Seattle at Fitzmagic.
Who made this schedule for Russell Wilson? I think they said this guy's never won an MVP. Let's set him up
Let's
here.
help them out.
So we got Seattle at Miami. Is anybody taking Miami?
No.
Okay, so we can go right through there and
That
put
could be a fun game, though.
Seattle down for everybody. Miami is kind of been that team the last couple of years where they hang around with some of the good teams.
Yeah.
They beat the Patriots, you know. They're just, I don't know, something about them. Plus, Fitzpatrick's fun to watch.
Yeah.
All right, next game. Chargers at Tampa Bay. Young Herbert against, which they did say that Tyrod, I think, is out at least one more week.
Why are they even going to go back to him? Herbert looks good.
Yeah, so we got Herbert
does.
at Tampa Bay against Tom Brady.
Herbert at Tampa Bay.
So I'm going to take Tampa Bay, though. too much,
Give me-
even without Godwin.
Say,
Tampa
give,
Bay also.
give me 20-plus years of experience versus the rookie.
Yep, agreed.
All right, next, Baltimore trying to cure their blues against the football team. This could
It's
get
the football team.
This could get ugly.
Yeah, if they had 5 turnovers this week, man, they could have 10 this week.
Just saying.
Say, do you guys remember Baltimore's first game last year where it was like 56 to like 10 or so? I think they played the Jets or something stupid like that. That's this game.
I'm taking Baltimore. I think everybody's taking Baltimore.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping.
Are you going to sleep again?
I'm just hoping.
man,
I'm
maybe.
hoping. All right, I'm hoping that Lamar's not benched at halftime. I need a big week from him. So.
Or he gets you enough points in the first half to cover.
Yeah. So okay, now we got Arizona at Carolina. No CMC again. Kyler coming off a loss.
I'm going to go Arizona.
Yep, absolutely.
AZ.
Yep, we got a lot. Okay, we got to break this trend. That's
I gotta tell you-
1, 2, 3,
Well, these
4,
are
5,
easy.
6, 7 picks in a row. We're all the same.
I mean, Washington sucks. The Panthers suck. I don't think Teddy Bridgewater plays quarterback past this year for them.
Oh,
Yeah.
All right, I take that back. He might start next year, but they're drafting somebody this
Is
year.
he kind of like the new Tyrod Taylor?
so
I can
In
see
a
it,
sense, like, gets your
Is
team
it-
kind of going.
Is
and
it,
then-
Teddy
is it Teddy Bridgewater or is their coach not that good? How many times do we see
Well, that
college
and their-
coaches come in and suck? This same Teddy Bridgewater went 5-0 with the Saints last year.
He's
with a
Teddy
good coach.
Bridge quarterback.
Yeah, here's the other thing with Carolina. CMC, great, right? Okay. Then you look at their wide receiver.
Hey.
Little guy. Oh, we just picked up Anderson or whatnot. Have you ever seen that guy like out on the field or whatnot? Like,
He's a stick.
oh my word. He probably weighs like 130 pounds and he's their big wide receiver.
it's their tall wide receiver.
Yeah, so I'm going Arizona. They're definitely they need some more pieces in Carolina. CMC, I would hit, as great as he is, I would love to see him go somewhere else eventually on a better team. Okay, Minnesota at Houston, 0-3 Texans. Tough
Not a
3
win-
weeks.
Not a win between them.
You know what's crazy too is Earl Thomas went there today, and they were like, he's likely going to sign, and Houston turned him away.
Yeah, Blake.
It's very-
Nobody wants him. Remember
Nobody
that?
wants him. We could use him.
Yeah, I'll take him.
I know you would.
So who we got here?
This is a tough game because Minnesota's offense, at least from a fantasy perspective, at least got going a little bit this
Justin
week.
Jefferson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rookie.
I'm gonna go with Houston because I feel like they're 0-3. They've played tougher teams than Minnesota has, and they're 0-3.
I completely agree. I think that this is the week where things open up and they can get a win because
Well, Josh.
I don't know what to do. I mean,
This is almost as tough as like Jets and Denver.
yeah,
This is a tough one. Yeah, you got 2 good teams here that their records really don't fit their team.
I agree. Yep.
You know, I could either one of these teams could end up being a playoff team at the end of the year. You know, they could, because Houston, they probably got a pretty darn easy schedule because they've played 3.
They played all the hard teams already.
Yeah. So where we just talked about Seattle's got this easy schedule.
Yeah.
Deshaun Watson's like, what do I got to do?
So the Texans, the teams they've played against are what? 8-1.
Well, let's see. Yeah, because Baltimore
Chiefs
just
3-0.
lost.
Yeah, the only reason Baltimore's
Steelers are
lost is because they
3-0.
played the Chiefs, who are now 3-0.
Yeah.
So 8-1.
Who you got, Josh? He's
all right,
pondering.
fine. I'm taking the Vikings. I think that
yeah.
was a wake up last week for their offense. They should have won that game. Yeah, I think they pulled out this week, and Deshaun's they're gonna have some questions for Bill O'Brien after 0-4 start.
Yep, I'm going Minnesota as well.
All right. Well, that means I'm gonna lose.
Okay. All right. So
By the way, that game is the other one that might not, depending
Happen.
on what happens
Right.
with the Vikings.
Right. Okay. So now we have Giants at the Rams.
Rams.
Any team that starts with an NY, just put as a loss for
And
me.
they suck too. Who's the worst New York team?
The Jets.
Man.
Yeah, the Jets. I would rather be a
There's
Giants
at least
fan right now.
there's at least weapons in the other New York.
Kinda.
Well, they're kind of all hurt, but they're there.
Yeah.
Well,
It's
and
a
at least with the
franchise.
Giants, you have the excuse
Yeah.
that we always do of, it's a rookie head coach. The Jets.
All our players are hurt.
A fun game here. New England at Kansas City.
That's a great game.
Can't
Yeah.
wait for this.
That's a fun game right there.
KC.
KC from Blake. Josh.
Mahomes.
Over his Patriots.
Yeah. Over both your guys' Patriots. I'm going to take the Chiefs.
I can't bet against Patrick. If you guys were
Yeah,
watching
his
last night,
mom.
don't call him Pat. That's his dad. Don't call him Pat.
If we're going to talk
Call
about
him
names,
Patrick.
was anybody else going nuts every time? Was it
Elaire?
Elaire.
Yeah.
Edwards Elaire. I'm like, dude, why do you have to scream the E? Like,
So my mom
He was
announced
really-
the game. My mom says DVD.
Yeah, I mean it was every single time.
and he ran the ball like 20 times too. So it was Elaire. I'm like, dude, it's Elaire.
Oh my gosh! Now I saw something funny. What? Oh, okay.
Never.
Not gonna make the comment.
There you go. Good. Smart.
We'll talk. We'll discuss it after the podcast.
Off the
if
air.
if anybody can kind of read my mind in the comments, and you want, I'll let you know if you were right.
You know what we should do is we should create like a community where you got to like subscribe, and then you get like an extra podcast each week, and it's completely unfiltered.
And that,
You guys would like it. You guys would like that.
it turns out that I might come across that I don't swear all the time, but I actually swear. It's like I throw at least 3 or 4 profanities.
Yeah,
every
you
day.
guys who
guys that
watch
are-
this, you think I'm a good person? I'm not.
So let's move on. Buffalo Bills almost blew their game at Las Vegas, outplaying it. The Death Star out there.
I love that. The
It's
Death
awesome.
Star.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm taking the Bills because if you're talking best quarterbacks in the league right now, I feel like Allen has to be up there.
All they said was that he can't throw downfield. He's not accurate.
He's very accurate.
He looks
can
very
throw
good.
the field.
Cannon.
Yeah.
the other guy who's like, hey, what's that? 400 yards? That's all I got today? Okay.
Yep.
He
What do
throws
you
the
got?
ball with
Going
ease.
Buffalo?
No, I got to go Buffalo on this,
Yep.
man.
I'm also going Buffalo. Go ahead. Go ahead, Zach.
I'm going Raiders.
He's taking the Raiders.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
Nope.
So let's go Philly at San Fran.
I'm taking San Fran because Philly sucks. Sucks.
All right. Yeah. 49ers go.
I'm taking 49ers. Justin's pondering over Wentz on the road. Does he get a win? Justin's looking to make up some ground. He knows he's down 5 games already.
Yeah, no, I'm taking 49ers. It's just, that's
So
not
I've
the
got,
game.
I've got 3 teams that I will not pick unless they happen to end up playing each other. Whoa, shoot. The Giants and the Eagles will play each other.
Twice.
Crap.
Yeah.
I got to pick a winner.
All right, now we're to Monday, last game other than the Browns. Monday night, Atlanta at Green Bay. Could be high scoring affair.
Probably will be. I can see
Hey,
it.
Atlanta's, if we only played 2 quarters, it'd be the best team in football.
By a lot.
But this is a tough one. It's a tough one, but I'm going to go Green Bay at home.
To me, this isn't tough. It's Green Bay.
Yeah. It's
LaFleur looks like dude knows what he's doing, and Rodgers is on revenge tour.
Yep.
You going Green Bay too, Justin? Well,
Yeah.
the funny thing that I saw about, Green Bay is they were like, Aaron Rodgers doesn't, I don't know if you guys watched that broadcast, but Aaron Rodgers really doesn't have control of the offense anymore. It's all LaFleur. And it's like, and they like broke it down. So Rodgers goes into the huddle. He's got 2 plays or whatnot he can call. And then he goes up there and then he can like audible, like based on what the defense to like 5 different plays. So Aaron Rodgers is still calling plays.
He's still doing it.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's not like when you're in like Madden and you're playing and you get to you call the run play and you're like, oh great, now I got to do this play action.
All
No,
streaks.
no. So now we got one more game to pick.
Yes.
Cleveland at Dallas. I will start us off because I have the worst record. I am taking the Cleveland Browns to win this one on Sunday. I think we're going to go in the Jerry world. We're going to run the ball, control the clock, capitalize on some turnovers, come out victorious 34-31.
Because, I'm in this for a free meal and I like free meals. I'm going to pick the Cowboys, but that being said, I do think it's going to be a good game. Do they have the ability they might come out and blow us out? Yeah, because they have a ton of weapons, but I think it's going to be a good game.
How close you got it?
Within
Throw something out there. Throw a score out there. Don't be a loser.
35-27.
Do you want me to go next? As much as it pains me to say this, I picked Dallas when we did our preseason predictions. I'll continue to say that it'll be Dallas, and I'll say that it'll be 42-21.
Oh, all right.
I think it's going to be a tough Sunday.
I was going Dallas. What was I going to say? 34-17.
All right, so I'm the only one Browns
I
fans.
hope you do it, Zach, because trust me, that would make my Sunday awesome.
Yeah,
Both my fantasy teams will lose, but my real team will win.
Yep, so we'll keep this rolling after week 4. We'll update everybody next week.
Awesome.
All right, so let's wrap this thing up. Thanks for checking out another episode of the Dogs. It seems like as the season started, we've been really getting a lot of good feedback, so I appreciate it. Shout out Jason Sharpless sent me a picture. He finally got his contest shirt.
Because I finally sent it.
Josh finally sent it. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Make sure you check in next week when we recap the Cowboys game, preview our matchup with the Colts. Before we get out of here, I want to shout out the Indians. We're about to make our World Series run.
I think that
there it goes, baby.
So me and Blake were on the way over, and I have this weird feeling that in this year, this is the year we're going to do it. Like, I cried in 95, cried in 97. I was a young lad back then, but I feel good about this.
Well, if we're going to shout out the Indians doing their playoff run right now, go watch Percy Gardner's podcast episode from this week. He interviews Aaron Savali, starting pitcher for the Indians. Yep. So pretty fun. Pretty fun guy.
Tough matchup for the Indians. Going against the Yankees.
We'll be fine.
We got to, if you want
to win game 1.
Yep.
Got to win game 1.
Loyal to the soil, bro. Loyal to the soil.
I like us in game 1. We were throwing out the Triple Crown winner.
Yeah.
Yep.
So go Indians, go Browns. Hopefully we're talking to you guys next week, and the Indians have beat the Yankees, and the Browns have beat the Cowboys.
Yes.
Have a good week, everybody.